are together, man.
This is it.
It's been a crazy start to the year, and the last 4 or 5 weeks has been nuts for you.
It has. I have been all over God's green earth, traveling, speaking, conferences, all kinds of crazy stuff. And
Right.
you have
Had locusts and calamity come to my house. So, I had a little medical event about a month ago, get home, and 2 pipes burst on the second floor, pouring water onto the first floor, which is a living area, meaning
can't live
we
there.
had to move out. So I
Yeah.
moved the family to a residence inn with a couple rooms and a little living room and lived there for a month. We just moved in last week. This happened over a month ago.
Wow.
So for the 2 of us to get together, and we're here in the famous Disrupt Media office in Scottsdale.
We
and
are.
We got together earlier today to start strategizing about future and different
Lots happening.
avenues of approach. So it's all good stuff. It's
It
just
is.
a matter of getting where we need to be.
Yeah, it's been busy. But here we are. We are together for Funeral Nation, episode 259.
9, almost 260.
259.
That's big.
It is big. That's a lot of that's a lot of years.
Yeah, it is. So that's back when I actually had some black hair. It hadn't turned loose
It's
though.
distinguished now. Isn't what
Yeah,
you're
that
saying?
means I put the white stuff in it to make me look mature. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's.
You're starting to do that a little bit too, bruh.
Well, and I watch you. We just had lunch, and there's another crowd now that
Really attractive.
gravitates to you. There is.
I couldn't get away from the table. And I was like, what are you doing? I'm talking to people. I can't help it.
That's right. People gravitate to you because you are a wealth of knowledge, which we're grateful in Death Care for you.
Amen.
And so
I'm not a client yet,
You're not a
but I know
client
some
yet.
stuff.
You know
So
some stuff.
speaking of Death Care, what's going on exciting? You got some
Okay,
news.
this has been in the making for 5 years now.
Yeah.
So let's go back 2018, Salt Lake City, NFDA. There was rumblings that Fraser Consultants, Frontrunner Professional, Funeral Tech, and a few other companies had been acquired by a private equity company.
Right.
And what happened was nobody wanted that to be known. I don't know.
At that point, they didn't want it necessarily to be a big deal.
Yeah, there was never any official announcement. So in the last 5 years, it's been more widely known that this has happened, but there's still not been an official, this is it. So today, we're recording this today. So whenever you watch it, it happened today. Tribute Technology, Frontrunner, Professional, Fraser Consultants, and Funeral Tech put out a press release that Frontrunner, Fraser, and Funeral Tech are all part of the Premier Partners, whatever, under the Tribute Technology brand.
Umbrella.
And I think we will probably, my prediction is that we see more of the companies come out of the woodwork that are part of that umbrella as well. But we are also going to be, Connecting Directors is going to be doing a full follow-up story with the team at Tribute Technology on everything that they've got going on, as well as a Q&A webinar with their executive team.
Nice.
On May 3rd. And then we will also try to get them on Funeral Nation and have a great conversation. So if you've got questions, what do you want to know? What's happening with Tribute Technologies? What's changing with your website provider? You've probably experienced, if there is a lot of change, which I don't think there has been a lot, you may have experienced some of that already, but I feel like from the press release, everything kind of still operates. They're basically integrating the technology stack into serving families is the gist of it that I get.
Well, we started 7-8 years ago, 259 episodes, and it would be interesting to look at that episode about what we talked about. And I think mergers and acquisitions,
it's been a theme.
We've talked about that since the onset, and we've seen it within the funeral homes, not so much as the providers, suppliers, and vendors. Now you're seeing all sorts of companies merge together and work.
Yeah. And it's interesting because you and I both talk with some of the big consolidators that are buying up funeral homes, and it doesn't seem like that market is slowing down.
It
at
is
all.
not. I've seen some purchases from our friends at Anthem Partners,
Yeah.
Will and his team, and we've seen some recently from Carriage as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
They were quiet for a while and
They
seem
were.
to be back on the scope.
Yeah, and then Stonemore just changed their name.
They did.
So lots of shakeup, a lot of things moving forward in death care on that acquisition side. But man, it's an interesting time in death care right now.
It is. I enjoy it, and because we've been so entrenched for so long, it's interesting to see some of the things coming to fruition. I know that there's funeral homes now through my work with C&J Financial that were at a regular pace prior to COVID. Then COVID hit and the death rate went up significantly. Now it's dropping down again, and so there's a lot of scrambling about what to do with the lower death rate, meaning less revenue,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So that's I've spoken and worked with some funeral homes about that very subject, pricing, etc., and what to do when the lean times come along.
That's right. That's right. Well, so to address some of those pain points, we do a survey in January every year through Connecting Directors, and we find the pain points in death care. The last 3 years, over 55% of funeral directors have said that their biggest pain point is retention of current employees and then finding help. Finding new
That's
help.
something we've breached, I don't know how many times
Yeah.
as a subject. And I guess the old Southern tale is the roosters are coming home, coming home to roost. That, you and I have talked about this endlessly, and I see it on threads. I'm still involved in talking with people that the mortuary schools aren't overflowing with new people.
Yeah.
We're losing more people to retirement and natural attrition that are coming into the business. And we're literally, to sustain ourselves over time, going to have to change some of our licensing regulations.
Yeah, we are. And so, you and I can't go and enforce licensing changes and things, but we can start the conversation, which is what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But one of the other things that we're doing to kind of help mitigate that problem is Connecting Directors has had deathcarejobs.com we launched that in 2019, so
Right.
It's been around. We just relaunched a completely redesigned version of the site. It is a self-serve job board, so any funeral home, any corporation can go on. They can purchase a job listing just like you would on any other job platform, but it's dedicated to death care. The other component that we've built into that, which has been a kind of a passion project of mine, is the ability for somebody that wants to get into death care, a mortuary student, a second career person that doesn't know where to go to get connected to a funeral home, can actually create a profile and upload a resume. So as an employer, you can post a job and you can go browse existing applicants that are available, ready, and directly reach out to them as well to get them to apply.
Brilliant.
In less than 14 days, we have driven over 900 applications from jobs posting.
And so,
on Death
as
Care Jobs.
usual, Disrupt Media, Ryan, the whole world that you revolve in, you're finding a solution for a problem.
Finding a solution for a problem. That's why
right.
we exist.
Standing in the gap.
That's it. Wow, you're getting.
Speaking of which, I've literally, folks, this is the first time we've laid eyes on each other in forever, much less
Since
had the
NFDA.
opportunity to, talking. And so you've done some pretty heady stuff. You were at a John Maxwell, or you say he opened for you?
Yeah, I got to speak at a 2,700 person network marketing conference where John Maxwell spoke for 2.5 hours, and then he left the stage as I was coming on the stage. So John
he opened
Maxwell
for you.
opened for me. That's right. That's right.
Hey, bro, that's a good thing. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
So there's been some really cool stuff you're
There's
involved
been
with.
some cool
And
things.
what I see from just stepping back and observing, we've known each other a long time, and I've seen your evolution from Connecting Directors to Disrupt Media to doing the media work and support for social media within the funeral profession to literally just becoming a rising star that your experience, know-how, and your team's ability has really shown out. Because I remember when you showed up in South Carolina that time with your outfit on. I was like, bro, I'm going to stay close to you so nobody shakes you down for weapons or whatever.
That's right. Drug dealer.
You're a drug dealer and
I don't know. There's all kinds of different things.
There's lots of them.
Dingleberry is.
I'll be your dingleberry, man.
I know you will. You're my
Your
man.
huckleberry.
You're
You
my
know,
guy.
you're always going to have haters, and we have one specific that
do.
that's shared, and I see engagement. In fact, the other day there was some thread I was on in the funeral profession, and it was going quickly south, and I had someone that was, basically not thinking the same direction I was. And I private messaged them. I said, look, why don't we get on the phone and talk this out? I said, doing this in a public display is not going to be good for either one of us.
That's right.
And so, little things like that, as we're using our social media, we can reach people, but you also have to be able to have the ability to converse and have the content, to solve the issues.
That's right. So death care is changing. Marketing in death care is drastically changing. The way Disrupt serves funeral homes is absolutely changing. It is a pay-to-play world. It's a content you got to be creating. So,
it's interesting. I'll share the story. We were just at lunch here in Scottsdale, and there were two couples behind us that were older than I am. They went there for the Blue Plate special. I got the lunch special. So they were senior, more mature than I am in many ways. And as we were leaving, they struck up a conversation, and they asked, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I'm in the death care business." And the guy followed me out of the restaurant asking questions. So folks, if you're in a funeral home and you're not engaging and reaching out to consumers, they want to know. They have a huge need for information. And if you're waiting for them to come up and pick up a GPL and then meet with the funeral director, they're going to drive your plate. You're toast, okay? I know that you've been there forever and it's worked the same way. But these consumers, we exchanged email addresses. I gave them websites to look at. And we're missing the boat, I think, of consumer education. What's your thoughts?
1,000%. Well, I agree, and funeral directors should be leading the charge on that. They should be the resource for that, and your automated Helen Keller quotes aren't cutting it anymore.
Yeah, and frankly, if you don't do it, someone else will.
That's right. There you go.
There you have it.
It's kind of the theme. Okay.
That's what I hear. Well, bro, I love you like a play cousin. You know that. I just missed you. And we'll get together and play in the sandbox or something soon.
Sounds good. All right. Until episode 260.
Out here.
Have a great effing week.